Listener land, you have found To All the Cars I've Loved Before. Welcome back. It's your authoritative podcast on automotive nostalgia, where every car tells a story, every car has a culture. It's time to plug in, dust off, get a little grease under those fingernails. And I want to welcome new listeners or recent listeners. How do we know this? Through the magic of packet switching and capturing. No packets were tortured in the collection of this data. Ogden, Utah, welcome. Ashburn, Virginia, welcome. New York City, didn't know. How do you like that? So nice, they named it twice. A couple other places, a little further afield, we are heard around the world. Yes, Singapore. Yes, Pakistan. Welcome. It's good to have everybody here. What do you think about that, partner?
Magic of the internet. I love it. We don't even have to be syndicated.
Yeah. I mean, around
I'd be okay with that, but
yeah. And today's guest, we're very happy to have. We're going to introduce him in a couple of minutes. Just reached out to us. He said, "Hey, you are my people." Yes, that's a direct quote. We got to get together, make it happen. Some magic coming your way tonight. So, Ogden, Utah, Singapore, Ashburn, Virginia, Pakistan, New York City. Welcome back. And I won't torture listener land by singing happy birthday, but we do have a very special birthday today. Doug, do you have any idea whose it is? Here's a hint. We interviewed his daughter on a previous season of the show. It is none other than
John DeLorean.
How do you like
Zachary that? DeLorean. Happy birthday in heaven, sir.
Amen. I think we talked about this when we spoke with her. His autobiography is a heck of a tale. And I think you read at least one or two, owning one of his most famous inventions. You've read about him quite a bit. Interesting fella.
You could say extensively, and I'm pretty active in the DeLorean community, partially just to find out tips on how to fix my car, but also, wonderful people like Kat DeLorean are actually very active on Facebook groups, and that's how we connected with her. So we're super fortunate. The man died 20 years ago. So we're talking to her was as good, as close as it gets to meeting him. So it was a true honor and a privilege. And it's the gift that keeps giving. Season 1, episode 10.
When I got to tell you, and we'll go back a couple of years, and this just kind of struck me when you said you were getting this car, and I know it was a bit of a dream for you, and you always want to help your closest friends, overachieve, get to their goals, make dreams come true. But I thought you would go get this car, bring it back, and I would never see you again because you would be underneath this piece of steel forever trying to make it work. But it's been surprising to me that really the opposite has happened. You have met more people by way of this car. It's really just been a social, a lot of people, have a lot of friends, person, et cetera, but it's all of the people that have moved within your orbit. Yep. It's really a striking, bordering on stunning thing. Did you think about that?
Yep. And you posed the question, it's in our blog, but you posed the question to me, if I hadn't bought the DeLorean, would we have the podcast? And I think the answer is no.
Yeah, I think you can draw a direct line.
Thank you, John.
Yeah, absolutely. It's amazing how you set these goals up in your life, personal goals, professional goals involving your family, friends, significant other. And in the journey of achieving them or reaching them or helping someone else reach them, it's all the little detours and off ramps and tangents and connections made along the way. But that's really neat. Thank you for sharing that.
I'm smiling thinking about all the people who smile and point when they see me driving the car. They don't smile and point at me, they smile and point at the car, and that makes me happy.
Yeah, but you're the one that steps out of it and you're not in a spacesuit, so it makes sense to strike up the conversation with you. Yeah.
Except out of the back.
And so you get a lot. So before we go, just real quick, at one point you said to me, you weren't, and I forget exactly how you phrased it, but you got so much attention in the car, and you have several other cars. So you would just kind of park that car for a bit. But it's just everybody looking at you all the time. And a lot of people have no idea what it's like to be famous. And when everybody's looking at you all the time, imagine if, your wedding day where everybody is looking at you and you're the center of attention for the entire day. Imagine if your wedding day was every day of your life. That's what it's like to be famous. How do you handle that when you go out?
That's a great question. That's a great question.
Okay, we don't get to stump the co-host. We can move on.
It's I hate to say love or hate thing, but it is. You get asked about gigawatts, flux capacitor.
Yeah.
Will it go 88? All the regular stuff. What?
Because you didn't
people,
buy.
Is that a Lamborghini? Is that a Ferrari?
Right.
But yeah.
You didn't buy it to seek attention is the funny thing. And I think you were really kind of taken aback at certain points. And it's taken you a few years to settle into that.
Well,
interesting.
And I don't drive it every day. It's a weekend.
It's not the daily driver like it is for Brian Paoni. Another guest.
Well, if you don't mind me interrupting, I think it just seems like a perfect excuse to completely make up a backstory and just take people for a ride.
Could. And that very deep voice is not Casey Kasem, ladies and gentlemen. It is our voice for today. It is our guest for today. Yeah. Justin, how are you?
I'm well, sir. How are you?
Beautiful, wonderful, better that you're here. And Doug, how did Justin come across our dashboard?
Yeah, so we got super lucky, even though Justin and I live in the same state. We didn't know each other. So I would say he's a friend of the show. He was listening to the show while he was taking down Christmas lights, kindly sent us a message, and we've been chatting ever since. He's got some great stories about cars that we're gonna jump into. But yeah, he heard us on Overcast. Of course, we're on all the streaming platforms, including YouTube podcast, but also we're adding video daily. But yeah, Justin found us on Overcast, and can't say enough nice things about the show and how he feels, how it made him feel thinking about his early cars, which is really the consistent feedback we get from people, whether they're car people or not.
Yeah, good point. And he reached out. So it's as easy as being on the show as being a fan of the show. So we're one text, one email away. And really, in talking with Justin before the show, we had to tell him a couple times, man, it's your show. We're here for you. We just kind of put guardrails up, and yes, you can smash through them if you'd like, but that's why we're here. So what's the weather? What's the weather by you today, Justin? Have to ask because it's brutally cold here in Florida.
40 degrees in Florida, poor guy.
Let's see. It was 27, I think, was the high.
Yikes.
17 was the wind chill, and last night, and then today I was out there with the snowblower and the chipper trying to get ice off the sidewalks.
That was the next question. Okay. Well, glad that you are frost-free. You look warm and toasty. But your first car wasn't a snowblower, was it? Or was it?
It was not.
Let's talk. Let's go into the Wayback Machine. And instead of talking about the very first car, you had a special car that you wanted to mention. So let's get into that a little bit. Hi, this is Christian with To All the Cars I've Loved Before, your authoritative podcast on automotive nostalgia. Hey, have you ever thought to yourself, I love this show so much, I wish it would come out weekly instead of bi-weekly? Well, guess what? You asked, we answered. Henceforth, that means from now on, you're going to get a piping hot new episode of To All the Cars I've Loved Before, weekly instead of bi-weekly. How do you like that? We will see you on your mobile telephone streaming device of choice weekly from now on.
Which one are we talking about?
Was that the Corvair?
It was, yes. And that is the one that I would really like to talk about. So I have a 1963 Corvair convertible Monza.
Whoa.
There's a great story behind the whole thing. My mom and dad were dating they were married in 73 and they began dating in 70. And my dad had this car and they went on their first date in the Corvair, and they went on a few other dates after that. And then finally, my future mom said, I'm never riding in this car again because the floorboards were rusted clean through to the road.
Whoa.
Doors weren't closing right. Top was leaking. It's a Corvair, let's face it. So dad's like, okay. So he goes on to buy another car, and honestly, I don't know what the next car he bought was, but he gave that car to my grandfather and said, "Here, do you want this to play around with for a few years?" My grandfather had a 41 Olds that was his pride and joy, and he's like, "Yeah, I'll take this." So he played with it for a few years, and then ultimately he ended up selling it on. End of story for now. Fast forward. Excuse me, we were in I'd say mid 80s, probably about 84, 85. My dad gets a call from a guy, and unfortunately, I don't know his name. He called him up and said, "Mr. Warfield, I believe I have the car that you and your wife were courting in."
No.
And I want to sell it, but I want to offer you the first right of refusal.
Whoa.
So dad
when does this happen? That's like, this is fiction. Whoa.
Yeah. And this is why I wrote to you guys, because I thought this was just like perfect. So dad's like, "Oh, okay, I'll go look at the car." So he and my mom went and looked at the car, and it was baby blue Monza, wire wheel caps.
Mm-hmm.
And at the time it had a black top, and he's like, "Yeah, everything checks out." And dad said to mom, "I'm going to open the ashtray and see if there's anything in the ashtray," because the ashtray was stuck. The little lid wouldn't open. Now, this is on top of the dash above the radio. And dad went to open up the ashtray and it was stuck. And dad looked down into there and he actually saw his Winston cigarette butts from when he owned the car. So he got rid of it in 71, 72. Gets a call from a guy. "I think you have your car. I think I have your car. Do you want it?" Dad went and looked at it, and this is in the mid 80s. And it turns out it was the very same car.
Totally wild.
So dad bought it back from him. And the guy had the engine rebuilt, transmission rebuilt, had done some body work to it. Basically got it back on the road. Now, it wasn't like a full showroom or show car restoration. It was I'm a huge fan of roadkill, of don't get it right, just get it running. And that's what they did. And they did a pretty good job on the exterior body work. The engine was okay. Mom and dad got it. They put a new top on it. They had some more work done on it. They had new brakes put on it, so on and so forth. Fast forward a whole bunch of years, and then I guess it was about 10 years ago. My mom and dad ended up moving from Maryland to North Carolina, and they took the car with them, and there just wasn't a lot of places for them to drive it. Because that's something you want to cruise in. That's like you don't want to just bust out on the highway.
Absolutely.
And so they drove it around for a little bit, and then my wife and I went down, and I asked Dad, I was like, "Would you finally let me drive this thing?" Put a pin in that. We'll come back to that. Will you finally let me drive this thing? He's like, "Yeah, sure." So I take it out, and this thing was a blast. It was sloppy. Steering was sloppy. Shifting was sloppy. Brakes were sloppy. Drive it around for a bit, park it back in the garage, and it sat for a few more years. About 6 or 8 years ago, my dad called me and said, I'm selling the Corvair. If you want it, come get it. Otherwise, it's for sale. Full stop.
You got the right of first refusal too. How interesting. Second time around.
With the
Right.
Keep it in the family.
So, exactly. So I called up my buddy Teeman. I was like, dude, I need you. I need your truck and I need your trailer. And like all of my friends who are awesome, he's just like, yep, let's go. Let's do this. So we drove to North Carolina, hooked up the car, stayed the night. Next morning, came back, and it's been in my garage, and I'm slowly getting it back up to roadworthiness.
Nice.
So that's where it's at, and I'm hoping to get it up and running. My mom's not in that great of a shape, and I'd love to be able to put her in the passenger seat one more time. Don't know if it's going to happen, but I'm damn sure going to try.
Fingers crossed. And
that is beautiful.
You know what's so great about that? And it just came to me. So we've heard of right of first refusals before and those type of things. I've not heard of somebody going back to find the previous or however many previous owners and say, hey, I've got your car. I think I've got your car, whatever. This nice gentleman went through the trouble for whatever reason. And man, that makes it like doubly special. Like I'll use one of Christian's terms, like guardian angel, right?
Yeah. And I honestly don't know the story behind that, like how he found. I mean, obviously you can do a VIN number search, but in these days of the internet, that's easy. But we're talking
totally
about like
different.
83, 84, 85, where that just wasn't a thing. So you had to do your research or already have documentation on it. And honestly, at this point, I don't know if the engine and transmission are matching numbers to the chassis. I don't know. I haven't really dug that far into it.
Sure. Well, it's a good segue, if you don't mind, since we're talking about papers.
Yeah.
Into how you found your first car. What was your first car?
That was a 1980 Honda Prelude, 2-door, silver.
My favorite color.
And we found that in the Frederick News Post. And I think it was being offered up for like $1,500 or something dollars. And my dad and I went out, and at the time I didn't have my license yet. I couldn't drive a stick, couldn't drive anything. And Dad, we went over there. We talked to the girl that owned it, took it out for a test drive. Of course, my dad drove, and he obviously knowing how to drive a stick, he's like, all right, this is a really easy stick for you to learn on. This thing's really forgiving. Excuse me. So we went back, made an offer, bought it. And the one cool thing I remember, and I don't even remember her, I just remember her saying, you have to take care of Ian. And Ian was the Ian was the car's name.
Nice.
I was like, okay, my first car's name is Ian. And to this day, I still don't have any names for any cars except for that one because somebody else named it.
I didn't know that anyone really named cars until this show, and everyone does. And I started doing it since we started doing the show here. That is fantastic. Okay, I have to ask, the paper, you were very specific on the paper, the Frederick News. What did you call it? Now, I got to ask you, do you have any idea if that paper is still in existence?
Oh, it is. Absolutely.
Oh, well, that's fantastic. Because, in this day and age, and it just brings me back to how this is not really car related, semi, but for millennia, that's how people have gotten their information, some written record, going all the way back to the town crier in newspapers. And I remember being younger. That's how, when I first moved to the big city, that's how I got my first job, man. Getting it and going through, not that specific paper, but get the paper and you go through
the
what
want
are the
ads.
jobs, the want ads, what are the cars, and then Justin, you mentioned the little trade rags that have the the color picture of the cars, or sometimes black and white, and that's how information got around. And
I mean, that was the thing. Like, you waited for the auto
yeah,
trader to come out, and like, you're looking for a car. It was once a week they would come out, and there was a whole bunch of circulations, whether they be national or local. That was the cool thing. Like,
yeah.
you waited for that rag to come out and start flipping through, and then you had a pencil and you circled things and you made notes, and
And you
it
ripped
was
it
more
out. Remember?
it was
Yeah, you
more
had to.
tactile. Yeah, you ripped it out, you would tape it to your wall. Yep.
Yes,
And you would cold call people, just a straight up cold call, and say,
absolutely.
hey, are you the guy that has the car? I'm interested in it. Can we talk? Doesn't happen
Yeah.
anymore.
No, it does not. I was cleaning out. My oldest son went off to college recently, and is cleaning out his room and found all these newspaper clippings, that we had clipped out, and it's just, my mom used to do that when I moved to the big city, and she would send me the news from my hometown. She'd clip the newspaper clipping and put it in the envelope and mail. Well, that's all gone by the wayside now. That's all.
And you still
It's all
have,
firmly in
Christian.
the past.
Sorry, Christian. I love this story about you and your mom.
Yeah.
So you always wanted what car?
Yeah, several that I'm sure I'll never have. But
Okay.
The risky business Porsche, is that what we're talking
Yeah.
about?
So you still have I don't know if it was a newspaper printout or
Yes.
whatever, and
Yeah.
it was preserved in what do they call that? Plastic?
Laminated. My
Laminated
mother.
by your
Yeah.
mother.
Yeah. I somehow found this in the papers.
I
I
love
do
it.
have it. I'll see if I can pull it out somewhere, but I do have it yellowed with age. It's
Yeah.
the newspaper, but yellow with it. And my mom was a teacher, so she brought it to school and laminated it, and
Yeah.
then brought it. I
I
can't
love
say I've
that.
ever gotten close. I've looked at a few in the past.
But still, newspaper.
Maybe one day. That's right.
Newspaper. And before we go on to the next car, Christian, I have a quiz for you.
Yes.
Because I'm trying to make your automotive knowledge better. Try my best.
Wow. Okay.
What do a Volkswagen Beetle and a Corvair have in common? And I'm talking about old Volkswagen Beetle, not newer ones.
Both air cooled.
You got it.
There we go.
You got it. Guinevere from Pressure Brothers would be very proud of you.
She's very proud of me, hopefully all the time anyway. But let's just add another merit badge to the sash. All right, well, let's move along to the next car on the used car lot in Justin's past.
Yeah, and I think it was another. Let's take it. I can't use that.
Was it another Prelude? Are you telling me that the Honda Prelude was a prelude to another Honda Prelude?
There, you did it very well. Let's ask Justin.
Let's go to the source.
First, I'm going to add to your answer that yes, the Corvair was air cooled, but it's also the Volkswagen and the Corvair were both rear engine, rear wheel drive.
Yes, another one.
We have a quizmaster in our midst,
and it was actually at the time it was considered America's Porsche because it was the only American car that tried to duplicate that platform of a car.
Yep.
But I digress.
Yep. And they had a bus version. They had a truck version, just like Volkswagen.
They had the Greenbrier, and then I forget what the truck version of it was
like
called.
A side step. Yeah.
All right. So what was the question on the next car?
Yeah.
We were on your 9th Prelude, I think, that you bought.
My 9th. So that was my second Prelude. And that was an 88 SI 4-wheel steering. And that car was fast. And it was low and it was sleek and it was fast. It was a 5-speed. But the most important thing it was a 4-wheel steering car. And it was kind of ahead of its time, and not a lot of companies wanted to try to do that because it is kind of sketchy to learn how to drive that car. When I would would take my friends out. My best friend Adam said they used to call me Jay at the time. Yeah, Jay knew that car stuck and scared the out of all of us because I had such a good time taking friends for a ride on back roads and just whipping that thing around corners and in and out of straights, and I just had a great time with it because I knew it would handle. They didn't, and it was so much fun. Now, of course, I'm an idiot. I'm like, 21, don't really know any better, but had fun with it. I was invincible at the time. Would I do that now? Probably not, but yeah, happens.
Hey, what color was it?
Black. Black with black
Man.
interior, aluminum wheels.
Manual.
For the time it was an 88, so it had all the bells and whistles.
Yep.
What else can I say about it? And if I had the opportunity to buy one tomorrow, no questions asked, I would buy another one.
Well, there are some on bringatrailer.com, but did you hear that Honda may be bringing back a Prelude?
I have not.
Yeah.
However,
you heard it here first, America and the world.
I have not, but there's something about modern vehicles that they're so bulbousy and they don't have a relationship to the ground that other vehicles or older vehicles have, where you can't feel the road. You're isolated from it, and the car is almost driving you. And there's so much noise reduction and steering control and traction control and ABS and all this kind of stuff. If I want to lock the brakes up and I want to slide sideways, I want to do that. That doesn't mean I'm out of control. That means I'm really in control and want to take control of the vehicle. And you really don't get that. I'd love to have a new Caterham for that matter and be able to have those options.
Yep. No, I'm with you. I was driving my DeLorean and it had been a while, and I was going like 75, and I'm like, man, what would this thing feel like to go to 88? Not to pick an obvious number, and I think it'd be pretty scary. I've never driven it that fast, and I don't want to.
You've no need. Frankly, you've no need.
But sure. Yeah. But whatever the amount, like going 75 in my very modern 2023 car or 88 is a total different experience to what Justin is saying, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
now, speaking of another totally different experience, I think we can squeeze in one more car here.
Let's do it.
Of the dozens that he's owned, we got to finish up with a VW. There's got to be a Golf in this guy's past. Has to be. Look at him. He's a VW guy. Look at this guy.
So it's the one and only VW that I owned. I bought at some point a 1986 Golf diesel. And when I went and looked at it, they had this thing tricked out looking like a GTI. So they had the headlight, they had the round headlights, they had the driving lights on the front, and they had the black fender skirts over it and everything. And I'm like, that car is sexy. I want that car. And then when I went and looked at it and saw it was a diesel, I went, you know what? I've never owned a diesel. Let's buy it. Why not? And I needed a car. Didn't know anything about diesels. And that car was cool, man. It was comfortable. It drove great, but it was slow. It wouldn't get out of its own way. I think out of the box, it had like 53 horsepower or 58 horsepower, something like that. But I could pull a stump out of the ground with this thing. I mean, it was
because of the diesel torque.
Yeah, exactly. Mm-hmm. And that car was so cool. I really liked that car. It was so much fun to drive, even though it was, like I said, couldn't get out of its own way. But I had I was looking to get into something different, and I had a local VW shop. I cold called and said, hey, I've got an 86 diesel. You guys are interested in it? They said, yeah, bring it up. we'll tell you if we want to buy it. I'm like, okay, cool. And my future wife, at the time, my girlfriend, she's behind me, and I was like, all right, well, we'll leave my parents' house, follow me up to the dealership, and let's see what happens. We make it about 300 feet outside of my parents' driveway, and I went from first gear up into second gear, and I pushed the clutch in, shifted it into second, and no matter what I did, the engine speed kept increasing.
Mm.
It went up and 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 up. And this thing was screaming. And I'm like 25. I freak out. I'm like, and I don't know anything about diesels. I freak out, decide to eject, eject. So I pull the key, and the thing kept running, and the RPMs kept going up. So I jump out of the car, and I come running up to the front of her car, and I'm like, just go in reverse, back up, back up, back up. And she went in reverse, and I ran away, and this thing just ran itself completely out. Huge cloud of smoke, huge dump of diesel fuel and oil on the ground. Neighbors called the fire department. Fire department showed up, and they just stood there and watched it run out. And I'm like, what? Huh? What's going on? What I didn't know, because I was ignorant to how diesels worked, that the head gasket blew and it was running on its own oil. So the
Jeez.
throttle ran away because it was a mechanical fuel pump. Throttle ran away. It was running on its own oil. It was belching diesel fuel and oil out of its tailpipe. And then when the whole thing was said and done, of course, the whole neighborhood is standing around. I'm looking embarrassed. I don't know what to do. Fire department's there. They're doing their thing. And then finally the fire department starts backing up. And I'm like, what do we do about this? Like, this is a thing. This is like, I just belched a whole bunch of crap out on the road. And they're like, oh, well, you have to figure that out. And they packed up and left. And I went, well, okay. So I ended up just pushing the car back into my parents' driveway.
Aww.
And left this giant spill of fuel and oil on the road because I didn't know what to do. They didn't give me any direction like, oh, you should call hazmat, or you should call this person, or you should call that department.
Should have called Freesia Brothers in Connecticut.
They didn't even say get some cat litter and dump it on there.
They didn't say anything. And yeah, cat litter was what we thought. So, I went out there and like did what I could. Well, to this day, I can still drive through the neighborhood, and this has been 30 years. I can still drive through the neighborhood and see that spot on the road because it actually dissolved the asphalt. They haven't fixed it.
Golly, that story has me so discombobulated that you just said, holy
I just thought the
mackerel.
whole thing was so funny that the car ran away on its own fuel or own oil, and
Yeah.
I didn't know what was going on. And then the fire department was like, yep, peace out.
That's like, what do you say to that? That's just kind of what a wonderful end to the into the podcast here, into the show. Doug, I think this is the first time in our history where we actually made a list of the cars, ran through it in half an hour. I'm pretty pleased. What do you think?
Yeah, I'm super pleased. Plus, we're gonna have Justin back because there's a whole other list of cars, complete with stories. We're gonna do a 4-wheel drive edition, I think, of a show. It's a Jeep thing.
Dig it. Can't wait. But before we let him go, we have to ask about, we always check with guests to see if they have a cause that they would like to mention, share. Cause is important to them, things that they're into. And Justin has what I thought was a wonderful one. Would you care to share, Justin?
Local animal rescue.
Mm-hmm.
If you care about animals and you actually want to do some good, don't give to national animal rescue groups. Get to your local animal rescue. Find your local dog or cat rescue. Donate food. Donate money for them to get vet care. And when it comes to finding a new pet, don't shop, adopt. Don't be afraid to take on an elder dog or cat. Personally, we had a dog that had 6 months to live. He was an awesome dog, and we ended up having him for 6 years because he got love, he got care, he got good food, he got attention, he had a warm place to sleep. He wasn't given 6-8 months, but we had him for 6 years, and my wife got me a portrait painted of him on there for our living room wall, and he's still with us. His name is Luke. But just animals is the biggest thing to me, and just take care of your critters.
Yeah, wonderful mention here. Perfect timing because it's extremely cold outside. So,
yes,
they say about the peas, the plants, the people, the pipes.
Bring your pets inside.
Don't forget about the pets. Don't forget about the pets.
Don't forget about the critters that are, even if they're strays, just give them a cardboard box to come in and sleep in out of the weather. Just a little cardboard box and a towel.
Yep.
In a corner of a yard makes a huge difference to a critter. It's kind of messed up. I'm more likely to help an animal in need than I am a human because the animals are doing what they can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you got a big heart, buddy. You got a big heart.
And we have tons of animals.
Yeah. Your heart is well loved, I bet. Let's put it that way. Well, Justin, it was really great to meet you. Had a blast the past half hour. Doug said in getting ready for the show, he said, this guy is going to be something else. This guy is going to be something else. And you did not disappoint. So we appreciate you taking time out of your day and spending it with us.
Absolutely. And I'm happy to come back. Definitely willing to talk Jeeps. Absolutely.
Well, we'll do it. We'll do it. We'll have our people talk to your people. Actually, we need to hire some people to talk to your people, but we're gonna start accepting resumes now.
Or you can just hire me.
Yeah, we'll hire you to talk to yourself. That's another problem we won't get into today.
Look,
but
I talk to myself all the time for free. So
just don't answer yourself. Amen. Well, thanks, pal. It was great. Well, you have just heard the high revving, low mileage, late model, heard around the world authoritative podcast on automotive nostalgia. He is Doug. Reach him at doug@carslove.com. He's our engine. What can we say? I am Christian. Reach me at christian@carslove.com. Think of me as the transmission fluid you see on the ground in the morning. And this was Justin. Hey, if you like the show, feel free to share. Invite others. Our link tree, linktr.ee/carslove. It's our digital switchboard. You can see all of our presences there in one place. Please follow. Tell a friend, review, and we'll see you at the next local car show, showroom, race strip, or concourse. Thank you for listening. Keep the rubber side down, and we will see you next time